I've got my little notebook and this is what we're testing today, whilst my GS is having a software update. So what we're going to be doing is taking this Moto Morini 649 out. So this is a demonstrator, and it's got the optional gold wheels, which are about £300 more. So I think without further ado, let's take my notepad, jump on the bike and go for a little spin from the Mansell Collection. I've got me Falco boots on. So first things first, let's just set all the mirrors up, and the levers as well. Are the levers adjustable? Oh yes, they're adjustable. So front brake is adjustable, as is the clutch. That's the bike set up. Let's see what the screen's like. So we've got a 7-inch TFT Moto Morini, very pretty X-Cape. Quite a nice looking dash actually. So I think let's start it up. So a couple of things then. So this bike is a demonstrator, so it's done 62 miles. Got a full tank of fuel, and that's about it. So I think let's take it for a bit of a spin. I think let's go to town to start with, do some slow work, and then go out for some slightly longer roads. It seems to be quite a tall bike, and it reminds me very much so of my Honda Africa Twin. So I had the red, white and blue one. I'll put a little picture up here, and styling wise they do look pretty similar, and that's not a bad thing. So I think this is a very good looking machine. Most people will buy a bike just because they like the look of it, and that's not a bad thing really, is it? Thank you very much. As my visor steams up because I wear glasses. It's not my visor steam, that's my glasses. That's always a pain, isn't it, folks? So whilst we're sat here in traffic then, what can we say about Moto Morini? So they've been around for quite a while now. It's an Italian company. I think they were born in 1917, and then they've been through various ups and downs in their history, and then I think the latest thing in their timeline, having gone through bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff, was that the Chinese bought Moto Morini. There we go. It's that kind of day today. So the Chinese stepped in and bought them, and the parent company is, I'll put it on the screen because I have no idea how to pronounce it. So this is the parent company. Oh my goodness. So who said road rage was dead? So yeah, the bikes the bikes are assembled at the Italian factory, and the engine and maybe some other components are shipped in from China. So the engine is based on the Kawasaki ER6, I think it's a 2006 version. So basically CF Moto, who supply the engine, I think they're a Chinese company, they supply the engine. So whether it's under license, I don't know, or whether they've just taken one apart and had a look at it and then come up with their own version, I have no idea. So if you know, please put them in the comment section down below. But I've got to say, very smooth engine. It's a very smooth engine. I've only been on it for 3 or 4 minutes. Really is nothing coming, no vibes coming through the handlebars. In fact, let's go through the tunnel. The Chinese parent company bought Moto Morini in 2018, and this bike, the X-Cape, came out in 2022. So for the UK market then, they have 3 flavours. They have the red one, which is the one I'm on obviously. They have a white one, and they have a silver one. So they all come with spoke wheels. There is no option on the UK market certainly to have the alloy wheels, which if you go onto the website, some of the bikes have it, but I'm led to believe, speaking to the person in the know, Tony at the Mansell Collection, the dealer here, yeah, the alloy wheels aren't an option in the UK, and correct me if I'm wrong. And you can go for the blingy bling version, which is the one I'm on. That's got the gold wheels, and that's about another £300 more. So this is what we're on then. We're on the X-Cape with the gold wheels, and it's just a very nice bike. I've got to say, I'm quite impressed with it. So on the open road, what is the Moto Morini X-Cape like? Well, it rides really well. That's got to be one of the main features I've got to highlight about this bike. It just rides so well. I've actually had this bike for 2 days now. I've had problems with the GoPro, so things are out of sync. So I've done about 70 miles on the bike, so I know it fairly well actually. I'm 5'9", it's really comfortable for me. The bar reach is good, the controls, which are backlit, are really nice. Everything seems to be made to a quality, it belies the purchase price of this machine. It's very nice, very little vibration through the bars, if any, and not much coming through the foot pegs. It's just a really nice place to be. Yeah, it's really comfortable, certainly with this screen, and there is an option to get a touring screen as well. I would suspect at 70 miles an hour on the UK motorway, not a problem at all, with a top speed in the region of 106 miles an hour. Obviously we don't get cruise control, but you can always go down the mechanical route, some kind of friction device, if that will be your thing. But all the controls fall to the fingertips very nicely. Everything feels premium actually, if I'm being truthfully honest. Suspension is very good. The brakes, the Brembo brakes are absolutely spot on. Yeah, there's just nothing that, well, I find it hard to pick any faults in it, if I'm being brutally honest. TFT is very, very nice. But yeah, if you want to go and do some motorway work, yeah, you might, not going to say you're going to struggle there, but 70 miles an hour shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, 70-80 miles an hour you'll be alright. You just have to use the gearbox and the 60 horsepower from the engine. But yeah, I think you can go absolutely anywhere on this bike, and the wind protection is very, very good. Handling wise, with the Pirelli STR tyres, yeah, you can chuck it around. It is a 60 horsepower bike, it is what it is, but handling wise, very predictable, very nice and very comfortable. It really is a comfortable bike, and I'd more than happily take this away. More than happily take it away. It's great. So whether you're commuting on it or doing some adventure kind of stuff, albeit light kind of adventure stuff, yeah, you should be really fine with it. Absolutely not a problem. Acceleration wise, yeah, this bike's new, so it's still been running. You know, it's got a little bit of zip to it. I'm only taking it up to 5,000 revs, but yeah, it's good. And I said the switch gear is really good. It's got DRL's daytime running light, so you've got a green light on the dash down here, and you've got a little button on the right hand side here. That's the DRL's in the on position for daytime lights, and then I think in the evening you can just switch it to lights to the right hand side, and then the lights come on, and then you've got the low beam is now active, and you can actually select the high beam with the switch down here. You can see the blue light come on. If you've got the DRL light switched on, then you don't get any low beam, and when you press the high beam, no blue light comes on. So if you want the high beam on of an evening, then you've got to have your light switched on. And as I said, these are all backlit, so yeah, lovely bike. Brakes are good, very comfortable. Yeah, you've got to work the engine to plan your overtakes, but it's a fabulous little bike. It certainly gets a big thumbs up from me. So what we're going to do now, let's go and talk about the specification of the bike and park up somewhere.
Okay folks, so this is the specification section. So basically you get a 3-year warranty. There is no breakdown recovery assistance, so you've got to go and sort that out yourselves. But from a dealer point of view, from the network, if you just look at the map here, you'll see, yeah, there's quite a lot of dealers actually through the UK and Europe. So if you're worried about the bike, you know, something going wrong with the bike and you want to take the bike to get serviced or whatever, then yeah, the dealer network is pretty good at the moment, and it's expanding. I think in the UK last year they had 3 or 4 dealers, and as you can see on the map, there are some more dealers coming online. So yeah, and even in America, they're now, Moto Morini are now going into America. So yeah, things are expanding all the time. But yeah, 3-year warranty with no breakdown recovery assistance. Well, that's certainly in the UK. So starting from the front of the bike, working back. So we've got a 19-inch front wheel at the front. Spoke wheels are standard in the UK, and they are shod with Pirelli STR Rally Scorpion tyres. I had those on my Africa Twin, and they are an absolutely brilliant tyre. Blocky, but they don't make any noise on the road. Nice and smooth, and I think it just sort of adds to the whole adventure bike kind of look, which is why I got them for my Africa Twin. I did 3,000 or 4,000 miles on the Africa Twin. Brilliant on the tarmac. Yeah, a little bit of gravel work is fine, but anything more than that, they're not really that good a tyre for going serious off-roading. But on the bike, they make the bike look really good. So the great thing about these wheels are front and rear is that they are tubeless, so you don't have to worry about replacing or repairing an inner tube if you get a puncture. So you just use a plug and go kit, and then away you go on your travels. That's always a good thing to have. So it's nice to see those tyres on there. You've got Brembo brakes front and rear, and you've got braided lines as well. So good job, Moto Morini. So those brakes are really good, nice and progressive. They're not going to throw over the handlebars, but they'll bring the bike to a nice stop. So yeah, good brakes, nice feel to them. Marizaki front suspension, so adjustable for compression, rebound, and preload as well. And on the back you've got KYB, which I think is just adjustable for preload and the rebound. So if I've got that wrong, comments down below please. So coming up then, you've got the screen. It's just like a friction nut up here. You can operate it on the fly. It's a little bit awkward, but it can be done. And that screen is just really, really good. It's almost, if not, it's almost, in fact, it might even be better than the GS. I could sit behind that all day. So I've had this bike for 2 days because my GS is having some software installed on it for an update. Taking a bit longer than they wanted it to. I guess these things do, electronics and all that. So I've had the bike, this is day 2 actually, so the video is slightly out of sequence. And I've done about 70 miles on it, so I think I know the bike pretty well. Done some research on the internet, so yeah, it's a great little bike actually. So you've got the screen is really good, LED indicators all the way around, and you've got LED headlights as well. We've got a very nice 7-inch TFT screen, so we'll pop that on. Yeah, really nice. Sunlight's not an issue. Very nice to see. It's got the auto dim light function, whether it's a dark screen or the light screen, depending on the light, the ambient lighting. But you can then go into the menus and either switch that off and just go for light screen or dark screen. We could talk about the screen for half an hour, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to give you the salient points. So the bike itself, it's a cable throttle, so there's no digital throttle from here. It's the good old cable, and because of that reason you haven't got cruise control, but you can get a throttle lock, an Atlas throttle lock, and put that on there if you want to, or whatever other put you want to put on there. So looking at the TFT, it does say that it's at the bottom here. If we scroll down again, you just highlight what you want, and then we go into, I've actually got the bike in off-road mode at the moment, so it's got the knobbly tyre on there, and then we can actually change that to ride mode. It gives you a different screen. So it's got switchable ABS, so if you're actually in off-road mode with a knobbly tyre picture on there, shall we call it, let's get that back. So we've got the knobbly tyre on there. You might think that's off-road, and with the Bosch switchable ABS, you might think, yeah, I can jump on the back brake and slide the back around. Well, you can't. At the moment, it won't allow you to. The ABS will still be on both front and rear. You can't ditch the front ABS, but you can switch the rear ABS off. So how do you do that? There's not much on the internet about that. So it took me a while to find out, but if you're in the off-road mode, should we call it, and I think there is no difference, and I might be wrong, please correct me if I am wrong down below. It's just a different picture, and the off-road mode allows you to then access another sub mode, like a hidden mode for safety point of view, I guess, to then be able to switch the rear ABS off, and thereby allowing you to slide the back wheel when you're going slightly off-road. So you've got the off-road, you need to highlight that, select it, and then you get the little black marks above and below it, and then you have to then hold the set button down for about 3 seconds, and that is how you get the hidden ABS menu, as we can see here. So the ABS is currently on at the moment, so if I use the grey buttons to switch down to off and then set, that then enters it, and then we get a triangle saying ABS off. and that's it. You can go down your gravel tracks, skidding the back tyre, because the ABS is now disconnected from the rear. So that's how you get the ABS off. But the minute you switch the ignition off, it resets to ABS front and rear. So yeah, each time you want to use it, you switch the ignition off, you've got to go back into it again. So it's a safety feature, I guess. So yeah, so that's how you get the rear ABS to be switched off if you want to have a bit of fun on your gravel tracks and stuff. Yeah, nice 7-inch TFT, really like it. You've got 7 bars for the fuel, so that's the only thing I would like to see there was a total mileage till you got to push it. So there's 7 bars, and then when you get down to about 2, I think it is, as you can see, I've got RES 34, so I've got 34 miles to go, and I'm on reserve. So when you get low, the reserve and the countdown mileage will show you how long you've got to go before you have to push the bike to get you home. So yeah, it's just a very nice TFT screen. You can connect it to your phone, listen to music, take telephone calls, etc. So yeah, I haven't actually drilled down into that, so that would be for another day. But yeah, nice TFT. So I think that's all you need to know about the TFT. So coming further back, then you've got a dual USB port there with a rubber weatherproof stroke waterproof seal. It's just a standard key jobby. And then you've got the compression and the rebound for your Marazaki shocks. The nice thing about the handlebars, you can actually adjust the position forwards and backwards. You've got 3 holes, and then you just undo the bolts and then move it. So if you've got slightly shorter arms, you can move it forward, and if you've got slightly longer arms, you can move it back. Or was that the other way around? I don't know. Anyway, you can move the bars forwards and backwards. We've spoken about the adjustments for the clutch and the brake, so you can do that, which is great. The Brembo brakes are really nice and progressive, the right amount of power, and the good thing is you've got the braided lines front and rear, so good job Moto Morini. Fuel tank, 18 litres, I think it's about 45 miles per gallon or something, so you're looking about 180 miles. That's my best guess, having done some work on research on the internet. Make any comments down below if you've got one of these. How many miles are you getting to the tank? So yeah, I've ridden it over 2 days now. I've done about 70 miles on it, sort of 4 or 5 hours in the saddle, slow speeds kind of stuff. Really comfortable. The saddle, absolutely no issue for that whatsoever. I think the standard seat height is 435. You can get a lower seat, takes 25 mil off that, so what's that, 4 something 410 or something like that, is it? I'm 5'9", I've got my Falco boots on. Let's have a look. So yeah, I can't quite, that's flat foot, and the other one is sort of half foot. So yeah, 5'9", 90 kilos with everything on. So yeah, so but it's not a problem. Weight wise, 213 kilos. So that's dry, so with some fuel in there, looking about 235-ish kilos. So just a bit lighter than my GS. But do you know what, folks? It's easy to move around, and it doesn't really feel, it actually doesn't feel that heavy. You know, I'm on the slope here, and it doesn't really feel that heavy whatsoever. So yeah, 5'7", you might be on tippy toes, but you can go for the lower seat option as well. Talk about the engine then. We've got, you're right guys, the engine, so we've already spoken about it. It's a CF Moto engine, 649cc, 60 horsepower, so it's never going to set the world alight, but you've just got to rev it and plan your overtakes. And the engine is pretty smooth, didn't notice any vibrations through the bars really, none significant, and either through the foot peg. So yeah, it's all right, I think the engine's fine. So 60 horsepower, 54 newton meters of torque, 4-stroke, 8 valves per cylinder, blah. Yeah, and water cooled as well. So yeah, Euro 5 compliant, and the gearbox nice and smooth, no problems there. You've got rubber inserts in the foot pegs. You can undo the bolt at the bottom here and take those out if you want to get a bit more grip if you're doing a bit of gravel work. So yeah, that's all good. And then you've got rear foot posts as well. You can undo the seat here with the lock down here, and you've got a toolkit under there as well. And then if you want to put a bag on the back, you can use the grab rails and bungee a bag to the back. Sorry about my doggies. Exhaust wise, yeah, it's not the meatiest sounding exhaust. It is the engine is what it is, but yeah, I'm pretty much happy with the engine. It's all right, and as we said, the brakes, the Brembo brakes are good as well. Chain drive, get the oil can out. Yeah, it's just a good bike, and you've got the 17-inch wheel at the back. Negative points of view then, what are we talking about? Negative points of view, nice to see a centre stand, so put the bike in the garage, put it closer to the wall, all the chain. Yeah, maybe they could have put a centre stand. Got no heated handlebar grips. I would have liked to have seen that as an optional accessory. But obviously Oxford and all those companies, I guess you could put those on there without too much of a problem. What else was there accessory wise I'd have put on there? No, just be the centre stand and the heated grips really. So let's talk about accessories then. I think that's the bike covered. Yeah, that's covered. So we haven't got cruise control because it's a cable throttle, so you can put an Atlas throttle on there, or throttle lock if you want to go and do that. So accessory wise, you can get a touring screen, but the screen is fine actually. You can get some hand guards from Moto Morini, and you can put on there some crash protection. And then coming back, so the standard belly pan is plastic. You can put an aluminium one on there as well if you want. They've teamed up with SC Project, so SC Project actually do a slip-on can, which is great, and it looks pretty good as well, as you can see here from the photo. And then you can get some luggage, hard aluminium luggage cases, I think they are, to side and the top case, and you've got the mounting rack as well. So I think that's about all the accessories that they do, but I'm sure as things progress, more accessories will be coming out onto the market. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I really like the bike. It's a good looking machine, and I think what we're going to do now is switch that rear ABS off and then go and find a gravel track and have a little bit of fun. So let's put the jacket back on and the helmet on, and let's go and have some fun. Woohoo! Come on guys, let's go.
So we're just going to go find a little bit of gravel just to try the fun factor of this cracking little bike. So what we'll do is we'll find a little bit of gravel, and then we'll just switch the rear ABS off, and then we just have a little bit of a play. Bearing in mind it's a demo bike, so I'm not going to do anything to cause any scuffs to the bike. We just take it slightly off-road on light gravel trails, which I think this will sort of be pretty good on. So you can get this bike in the 47 horsepower version, which I think they call the A2. So if you're in the UK, I think you can get this in the 47 horsepower A2, but if I'm wrong, I'll let you know. But yeah, it just handles so well. So let's go and find some gravelly stuff. But what a great little bike, great little bike. So this is the kind of stuff I think this bike will excel at. Just have a little bit of fun, shall we? So we need to go from ride mode down into, there we go, highlight the ride mode, and then we'll just set that, and then we want to go into off-road, which gives us the knobbly tyre. So we want to go into the secret menu, so we press the set button for 3 seconds, up will come the ABS, and then we'll scroll down to ABS off. So that's on the back wheel, and then we'll just set that. So the little sign comes up, ABS off, so we can now have a little bit of fun. But it is a demo bike, it's not my bike, so I just want to see what happens to see if it does work. Right then, so yep, a little bit of off-road work, standing up, yep, it's pretty good. Yeah, this is what this bike, this is what these bikes are all about. Dual purpose bikes, good fun on the road, and then you can just find a little track and then go off the track. This is what these are all about. And the nice thing is the bike just feels lighter than its actual spec sheet weight. It really does feel good. I'm no off-roader by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a bit of a track day chap, but let's just try the back brake then. Yeah, so we can, ABS comes off, and we can just, you can have fun with just skidding that back wheel. Try it again. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! And that's how you switch the ABS off on the Moto Morini X-Cape. Does X-Cape stand for escape, as in escape into the wilderness? I don't know, but this is what motorcycling is all about, having a bit of fun. It really is a good bike. It's a cracking bike for £7,500. It's a great machine, and it handles so well. You know, you can just play with it on the throttle and the clutch and just hold it there. It's balanced beautifully, and you really don't feel the weight. Top job, Moto Morini, top job. Anyway, let's move on. So with 60 horsepower, you're never going to set the world alight, but this bike is such good fun, and you haven't got traction control. You don't need it with that 60 horsepower. Yeah, you can spin the back wheel up, but this is the kind of stuff that this bike's going to excel at. You know, this is what it's all about. Have a bit of fun. Yeah, really nice. Anyway, let's carry on with the video. Just avoid the big potholes. I really like this bike. So back onto the road then. So let's highlight the off-road bit down here. We'll press the setter button to go into it. There's the two black triangles. We'll set that, we'll go to ride mode, and then we're back to ride mode. And let's go back to the dealership. So my final thoughts then on the Moto Morini X-Cape. I think it's an absolutely amazing little bike, and what has actually blown me away is the quality of the ride, the components. Just for £7,500, I don't know how they've done it. I really don't. You've got the Italian Brembo brakes, the Marzocchi shock, front forks rather. Yeah, I just don't know how they've done it. The screen is brilliant, the TFT is very nice. You know, it's just a nice quality bike. I don't know how they've done it. Folks, what you need to do is, any bike really, just don't look at the spec sheet and be put off by it, saying it's only 60 horsepower. Go down to your dealer and actually take one and try it out. You'll be very, very surprised. Moto Morini actually deserve to sell absolutely bucket loads of this. I've had this bike for 2 days now, I've done nearly 100 miles, and it handles well, it brakes well, it's comfortable. There's not really much to dislike about it. You don't have to thrash it. I mean, this has been running at 5,000 revs, and it's happy top gear 3 to 5. It's great. So it sort of pulls from 2,500 revs onwards. There's nothing really to dislike about it. I think it's a cracking bike, and if you bring the price into it again, it's amazing value for what you get. Folks, what you've got to do is actually go down to your dealer and take one of these out for a ride, because you will be very, very surprised. Yeah, Moto Morini have done a brilliant job, and you absolutely deserve to sell loads of these X-Capes. Great bike. Thanks so much for Mansell Collection for letting me take the bike out. As ever, ride safe, and we'll see you again soon in another video. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye. What a great bike. Really like that. And there's my bike over there. And one of the only things is just putting the side stand down. You've got to just go behind you a little bit. But if that's the only thing I'm going to complain about, what a great little bike. Bye-bye.